there's no gatekeeping here. It wouldn't be fair to do that because I learnt these tips and tricks, well, the majority of them from salons that I've worked at or from other beauty therapists and nail technicians in the industry. I'm going to tell you things that have changed my life as a beauty therapist. We're going to do a nails edition, a waxing edition, a lash lift edition. Starting with nails. Now I know this is a waxing strip, but this hack has changed my life with lint and fluff getting stuck on the nails. I cut wax strips up into little squares and rectangles, and I use them instead of cotton wool or lint-free wipes. I just find that there is no lint on this whatsoever, and some lint-free wipes are way too thin and flimsy and they don't hold enough of the nail cleanser, whereas this is perfect. I learnt this hack from Nails by Mets, so thank you for that because it's genuinely saved my life. The next hack I have already shared on YouTube, and it's when you're doing a shellac removal on the toes, instead of wrapping the toes individually, if that drives you insane, because it does drive me insane, I wrap the whole front of the foot with foil. I half cotton wool, I soak it in acetone, I half that, but I spread it around the toes. When I do half it, the cotton wool is a bit thinner and it's more flexible, so it really molds around the toenails, so it touches every part of the shellac that I've just buffed over. And then I cut out a piece of foil, put it under the toes, and then wrap it over the toes, and then close in the sides, and it was like a little parcel. And that has saved me time and effort and energy wrapping the toes individually. And I learnt this hack from one of the salons that I used to work at. It's such a time saver. You don't have to faff about with the foil. Okay, the next hack, I can't remember which nail tech I saw it from. I was just scrolling through Instagram one day, saw this little hack, tried it, and yeah, it has helped me. When you're doing matte nails, sometimes it comes out a little bit streaky. I found that this especially happens when I'm doing regular polish, which I don't do that often. But luckily I saw this hack before I was doing matte black nails with regular polish. And the hack is to do top coat first and then do a matte top coat over that. And that really helped the black stay matte without no streaks. In terms of doing it with shellac, you can also do that if you don't want to risk any streaks. But I recently also was recommended the Bird matte top coat, and that is the best matte top coat that I've ever used in my entire life. My clients have even noticed a difference with how they feel, and I've noticed a difference in how they look as well. Like, it's very, very, very matte. I found that hack from the Nails Luxe workshop that they had online. They were doing it every Wednesday evening, and it's saved my life. So I don't have to stress about matte nails anymore. The next hack is using boiled water to straighten out your nail art brushes. Some brushes can be saved. You simply pour boiled water into a cup, put the brushes in there, hold it for a few seconds, take it out, and you'll see that it's immediately straightened. I do try to take a little bit more care of my nail art brushes so that I don't have to do this, or I don't have to throw them away if they can't be saved. But if you happen to ruin a few nail art brushes, then this is a really good hack. The next hack just came to me in the moment. It was like a light bulb moment for me, and it was last winter. I was fed up of getting my trousers wet when I was doing pedicures. I personally do pedicures on my lap with my setup, and even though I have a towel on my lap, the water still seeps through and it goes onto my trousers. And in the winter especially, it's cold, which isn't ideal. I don't know how it came to me, but I thought, I've got waterproof trousers at home. I took the trousers to work, so unfortunately I can't show you them, but I got them from Mountain Warehouse. Simply put it over my trousers. I didn't care what I looked like, and I put the towel on top. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm not wet anymore. So if you don't care what you look like and you would rather stay dry when you're doing pedicures, if you're like me and you have to do it on your lap, this is a really good hack. Moving on to the waxing edition part of this video, I wish I had more hacks, but I sat and I was thinking about it and I couldn't think of loads, but I do have a few. And the first one is something that I realised on my own. So where I cut wax strips into little strips like this for when I do eyebrows and lip waxes, I bought these wax strips, I believe they were from Just Wax, and they were very hard. Even though they were paper wax strips, they weren't thin and flexible. So when I had a hard strip and I'm putting it on the delicate part of the eye here, it was so hard to mould over the person's brow. So what I have been doing when I feel like I do need to, let me see if I can show you how this is gonna... I really hope that you can see what I'm gonna do here. It's very simple, but I simply hold from each end and I pull. Do you see how that's stretched? When I've stretched it like that, it's then very, very flexible to mold over someone's face. And I've loved that hack for myself. The next hack is in case of an emergency. Pretty much every salon that I've worked at use normal spatulas like this for eyebrows. And what we used to do is we used to break it in half, like that. Get rid of the woody bits here, and then use that as a thin stick. Or they would use, there was one salon that used to use orange sticks for eyebrow waxes. But I personally don't like using orange sticks for some reason, I don't know. This is how I used to do it in the salons. I used to half the spatula. I don't use this hack anymore unless I run out of my eyebrow spatulas. So I buy the little thin ones specifically made for eyebrow waxes or lip waxes. But if I ever run out, this is a good hack just to go back to my old ways where I half it. Now the reason I don't do this all the time anymore is because sometimes you can try to break it evenly down the middle, but the way the wood splits, sometimes it's not even. Yeah, it breaks unevenly and it can go to waste. It's also not very safe to have bits of wood sticking out from the spatula, so I really make sure that I get rid of any bits of wood. If anyone's going to get a splinter, it's going to be you, but yeah, you don't want to get a splinter. But it's just a hack in case of an emergency. Now the next hack is, it's not really a hack, it's just a product that has changed my life because of a problem that I was having. When I do strip wax, when I use it, it's the wax that I was using was by Outback Organics. It was the blue one, and I've used that one for years. But I found that it is very, very stringy. Very stringy compared to my new favourite wax now, which is the Ital wax. I haven't tried this one yet, this is new. The other ones are at work. I'm using the raspberry strip wax by Ital Wax at the moment. The raspberry one, I've noticed, is not as stringy as any other warm wax that I've ever tried in my entire life. I am hoping that this range isn't stringy either. I bought a whole box of these just to test it out. I should have just bought one, but I've loved everything that I bought from the brand so far. This is the sandalwood one. I'm hoping it's not stringy. The raspberry one, I didn't have it to show you, so I just thought I'd hold something up to make it visually stimulating for you, because this video is just me sitting down and talking to the camera. Yeah, tried the raspberry one, absolutely loved it. It's not as stringy. So when I'm doing an eyebrow wax or a lip wax, any sort of wax, and I rip it off, I don't have to worry about any bits of wax going anywhere else on someone's face or their body. Now onto the Lash Lift edition. I'm not sure if it's a good idea for me to recommend this hack or not, but I haven't had any issues with it. With the lash glue, the glue that you use to glue the shield down and to glue the lashes down, the glue does get very thick and gloopy. But what I've been doing, I use a fresh one to glue the lashes onto the shield, of course, because if the lash glue is too thick, the product isn't going to penetrate through it and it's going to affect the results of the lash lift. But what I have been using, the thick and gloopy glue when it does happen, is it's just perfect to glue the actual shield down. It's so sticky, I don't have to worry about the corners pinging off at all. Ever since I've been doing this hack, I put it on the corners especially, and I might use a fresh one in the middle sometimes if it is getting a bit too thick and it's time for it to go. Sometimes I put a little dot on the corners and it doesn't ping up. Of course, check the expiry date with when you've opened it. Otherwise, it has been a really, really helpful hack for me. The next hack is something that I learned from the Lash Bomb, the Beautiful Brows and Lashes Instagram. It's to do with when the lashes start to ping off. And this hack, they've got it on their Instagram. If you're struggling with lash lifts, have a look at their Instagram. They've got loads of little tips and tricks. So one of the hacks that has helped me and changed my life, putting a little bit of that micro something tape on step 2 to hold the lashes down that have pinged off. And you do this on step 2. And that has really helped with my lash lift. Another hack that I learned from their Instagram is, and I think a lot of brands do this as well, when you put glue onto the shield, instead of starting to put the lashes on straight away, wait about 10 seconds for the glue to get a little bit tacky and then start putting the lashes back. and that way they're not constantly coming off the shield because the glue is a bit too watery. Wait 10 seconds, then start to pull them back. One of my clients noticed that I wasn't constantly brushing up. She was like, oh, last time I had it, I constantly felt her on my eye, constantly trying to pull my lashes back because they were really thick, straight and stubborn. And it was just simply waiting for the glue to get a little bit tacky. That hack has changed my life as a beauty therapist. I think those are all of the hacks that I've sort of thought of and I've listed out on my phone. I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope to see you again next time.